Well, I was going to masquerade as a demo person just to like jump around and answer questions unless anybody wants me to. Well, first, does anybody have any questions? And then second, I can masquerade um, as you if we need to answer those questions.
Well, I've got a really simple one. I put a YouTube. I use that third party thing, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And but for some reason, and it went on. I'm not sure if it went on the way I wanted it to, but there's a line that says watch on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And how do I get rid of that? I mean, because there's already, like the arrow for people to click. It just looks silly. And I did this once before and I don't remember that being on there.
I think that has to do with the code coming from YouTube or just how YouTube videos are made to be. I'm not sure what you mean by a line. Is it like
Well, it's
on top of the bottom of the video?
Yeah, it's in the same square where the YouTube thing is, and you click the the arrow, and it says watch on YouTube, and it's extraneous because
and you said it's text. Is it separate from the video?
Yeah, just go to our YouTube. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Is it, so where exactly is it from your MyLO site?
It's on the left. Just keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Yeah. YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, so it is on YouTube.
Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's in an article.
Okay. No worries. Do you want me to go to the articles page?
Well, you're on it. So I have it in front. So I'll keep going down. Keep going down. Keep going. It's one of those things we talked about. Here. This one here, recording available.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, where you wanted to add the recording of the event.
Yeah. So then just go to obviously read more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, we can double check the code, but I think it has to do with, whoops, first let me masquerade as you. Another option would be to, we could try uploading it to the media library. It's technically still being streamed through YouTube, but that might give a different display. But let me, let's see if we can tweak it through the code.
I guess I don't know how to do that.
I think you can just get rid of it with the code because mine doesn't have that. I think I kicked it out. I deleted it.
Okay.
Oh, you saw it somewhere?
Well,
yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, video I don't see anything there, but I had some.
Pretty simple. I wonder if we do try to upload it.
Well, it'd be interesting to do it, like you said, to the media library, because I guess I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and test it out and demo that. So all you need is the link from YouTube. So it's probably the share link. You could either.
That's what I use.
Right click and copy video URL. So that's all you need to start with. Then going to your media library, you can go through your manage files or go through like how we're going to do now. My computer has been painfully slow. Okay. And then just going down to the space that we want to add it in. Just for testing sake, I'm going to remove this so that we're starting with a clean slate. We have to go through WYSIWYG because we want to access the media library.
See, I don't think I did anything like that, but you're talking because we're going to the media library. Okay, I thought it'd be a little easier. Okay.
Well, opening up the media library, then you just click on web. This is a different way of uploading. You can upload like images from your Google Drive. I mean, if you already have them in your Drive, that's one way of displaying them, but this is just an option available to you. Any file URL that you have that's online, you can paste in here. So I'm going to paste in what I have, which is the YouTube link. And once we go to next, the name is already filled out because it's the name of the YouTube video. You can add a file description and all the other stuff. But it is going to be available to all folks in the media library. So you'll notice that there isn't a question about permissions because YouTube has all the permissions. We're not doing anything more than just, displaying it. And then the other question of who can see it in the media library is not there because it's just immediately available to everybody. Again, because the YouTube video is public already. Yeah, so I could just save it as it is. And once we submit it, we see what looks like a screenshot of the starter screen. You aren't able to manipulate it, but once we save it, it's going to load up as a YouTube video. So that's how easily you can use the media library to add in your YouTube videos or even Vimeo videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah.
But so I'm used to using the, up further where it says, when you put a graphic in, but where did you?
Yeah, it's the same thing with these body with embed code, like paragraphs that you get to add. You can swap between full HTML and WYSIWYG with all of them. And with the WYSIWYG, you still get the full toolbar as you do up in the top. And so this is just adding additional sections to the bottom that really the biggest benefit is they allow you to rearrange them if you wanted. But
yeah, I did have, when I did it the other way, I did have to, I think, cut and paste because it just wanted to be where I wanted to be.
the adding the HTML code.
Well, the YouTube, graphic, it seemed like it was only going to be at that one spot. And so I had to, I don't know, like I said, cut and paste the text so it would look okay.
Move it down to a different section. Was that why you ended up using this third-party embed code section down here?
That's how you told me to do it.
No, it definitely is the easiest way.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to do. Yeah. I don't remember even doing anything with the HTML or anything. Maybe I didn't, but I don't remember that.
Well, we'll go ahead and save this and see if that made any difference of going through the media library. So
okay, all right. It's not, it's not a showstopper, but it just looks silly.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it is part of the video.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't have this happen at all.
Yeah, that's
maybe this is a new feature.
It could be, maybe they updated how they have their videos displaying, but yeah, unless it was something explicit in the HTML code, we could have, removed it, but
I didn't notice anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I did this, I think, if I remember, is that I went to the YouTube because it had already been posted by somebody else on our YouTube channel thing, but I wanted to put it in the article. So I just right-clicked, and I think you said there's a thing that says share. So I clicked that, and then that gave me HTML. So then I went down to that third party, whatever it is, and put it in there. And then I think that's all I did. But then like I said, I had to move stuff around.
Depending on where you drop in that HTML, sometimes it might be a little too high up on the page, or
well, I thought it would go where I had my cursor, but it didn't seem to do that. But maybe I don't know. Anyway, all right. So I'm just gonna live with that. Watch on YouTube, unless somebody can figure it out later. I don't know what.
If anybody can, if you do check your site and let me know, then we can compare how you added your YouTube video versus how we've added this one. I'm not sure if that might give us any clues, but it's worth a try.
Is there anything in the, it has all those things, full screen or whatever, all those, but
so with the
settings.
HTML code.
Is there something in the setting there that
I'm not sure. There were some things that I'm not sure of or familiar with, like the the encrypted media part. I don't know what that means, but there's things that, I mean, you could test it out and remove sections, but it might be breaking the code and doing something that you don't exactly want it to.
What about the width and the height? Maybe when it's smaller, there's not room for that, so they don't include it. Mine are smaller. I made them smaller because I wanted to have two across.
I see.
Well, I
That
wouldn't
is
know how to do
true.
that.
I think that could help because I think earlier the one that you had added, Mary Jo, was smaller than this one, and it didn't have the title, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember what it was.
Well, why don't we add back the code and we can mess around with that. And it's a nice trick to know if you're ever adding an embed code and you want to tweak the width or the height. You can either add in numbers that are going to be like by pixel, or you can add percentages, and that would shrink or expand it proportionately.
Yeah, I suppose if you made the height less than it should be, you could be cutting it off, that bottom part.
Yeah, I think what we'll do, I'm going to try first, maybe at, 50%. And we're just going to save straight away. So that should, definitely shrunk it down, but I think that's probably a little too small. I mean, watch on YouTube is gone, but yeah, I don't think we need it that small.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is interesting. Yeah.
So you can tweak it. I wonder if,
this is so interesting because there's a different cover sheet. One says 3 initiatives and one says 2 initiatives. And I know the correct one is 3, but wonder how did that 3 ever come? I don't even know where that 3 came from, unless that's what's over on the one that she posted.
Oh, are you seeing?
I'm just noticing the cover that has the league logo on it, the title. One was 3, ended with 3 initiatives, one ended with 2. And I 3 initiatives is the correct one, but I thought that we said, oh, now we're changing it. And so I don't know where it came from.
Can you try putting in absolute numbers that are
yeah. Let me double check what the originals were. It was 560 and 315. The only hard thing about this is that off the top of my head, I can't know what the aspect ratio would be like to these numbers. I always Google things. If I don't know what I'm doing, then I typically will just look up what I'm trying to do. So calculate the aspect ratio. There we go. But these are presets. Okay, no, it looks like it allows us to add in the actual numbers that we want. So what did we have here? 560 and 315. So hopefully it gives us, oh, okay. So this is not exactly, I guess, what I was looking for. No. Because it's
why
kind of.
Why don't you put 280? Is it 280 or wait? Yeah.
Cutting them each in half?
Yeah.
Or 1 in half.
And that's 157. So
we could try that, 280 and 157. And that's the cool thing about all the websites. You can tweak the HTML further than what you have in the WYSIWYG. So fingers crossed, let's see if just changing the numbers directly. Pixels.
Aha! Did it work?
Oh, yeah.
That is definitely proportionate. I don't know, Mary Jo, if you want it that size.
No, well,
you can make it something in between.
So that has the correct front. That's interesting. Okay, so that's all right. It doesn't have the arrow though. I mean, it has the arrow in the left-hand corner, but it's
Let me refresh the page because I think it did have the red one on top or the black one. When you click over or hover over, it does turn red.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, now it has a different title. I don't understand that.
It just shortened it to LWVDDH voting, and that's it.
No, but this
Truncated.
in bold, it says voting rights webinar and.
Oh,
I
but
don't know.
that's the thumbnail. And then as soon as I start it, it changes to that.
Well, how did that even come? I mean, how did somebody type? I never typed that.
Somebody can set
Somebody
the
added.
Yeah, maybe when they put it, I don't know. Well, that's fine. Thank you.
Does that size work?
You can put it in between the two sizes. There's probably a place where it reappears, you know.
It's fine. I mean, I think I like the other one just because it's more YouTube-ish, but this is fine. Thank you, because it doesn't have that extra line in it.
Yeah. So it is about making it smaller. You probably could go a bit bigger to the point where you're just about to hit the size where the watch on YouTube line would come back, but
Yeah.
it might just take
She
playing
put the
around.
wrong date on there too. So this is somehow coming. This is coming from what she did because she
Yeah,
does the wrong.
when you add it to YouTube, you have the option to add a different thumbnail or add an image, a different image as a thumbnail, instead of choosing like one of the first few slides of the YouTube video. You can add your own image as the thumbnail.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's not perfect. I don't know. I don't think I don't know if anybody even looks at it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I guess.
But that's something that could definitely change easily. Whoever has access to the YouTube account for your league.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question on this page? Liz mentioned that you could put different videos side by side. So if you were going to put a video next to Mary Jo's, how would you do that?
Yeah, Liz, would there be any special thing that you would do on top of just adding the codes one right after the other? Did you put them like in a div section together?
I made a table, so I
Okay.
have, you know, in each of the, but I was working on trying to have a whole page of recorded videos, you know, and so anybody can go to it and go back to ones they missed.
Nice.
I'm not sure. I'm not totally happy with it because I had to, you know, really mess around with the TRs and the TDs, and I had to end one with just the closing of the TD, and then a whole nother in bed with the opening of the second, you know, the right panel. And it was two things across per row.
In 2 columns.
Right. So when I add another one, I'm thinking I'll have to tweak the TRs and the TDs. So I'm not sure I haven't decided whether this is a good solution or not. It might be better just to stack them, you know.
Well, I will say that maybe using the media library YouTube upload might make it easier, because that way you could use or be working in the WYSIWYG side. I don't know do you have it publicly available, Liz, the page of videos?
Yeah. They're just 4 right now.
Okay.
So under the events menu, the bottom one is recorded events.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Oh, very nice.
Wow, you're so good.
I'm having a little trouble with the size of the text underneath. And I don't know what that little line is. Below
The line.
each
Oh,
word.
I see. The one up top.
I mean, you're happy to improve it.
I'm not sure. We could take a look at the code. Whoops. Let me unmasquerade or switch to Liz.
And did you put that little gray box around it? I mean, that looks nice.
That's because it's a table.
Oh, okay.
Just the default formatting. The text, I think we could tweak. Okay. So I'm starting a new draft. Okay. So I'm going to just swap it to WYSIWYG so we can tweak the text. Wait, one thing that I do, you can either do it under full HTML or disable rich text. I like to expand the working area so that I'm able to see
What
it
did
much
you drag
easily.
on? I usually drag on the corner. What did you drag on?
On the bottom, so the
Oh,
three
okay.
little
Oh,
dots,
okay.
I
Okay.
mean lines.
Yeah.
So to tweak this text, I'm just gonna like click on paragraph a couple of times and see if that changes it for us. So I clicked it once. So it went from format to paragraph. I clicked it again. It went from paragraph to format, and it did shrink it a bit.
But it's got this stuff on the right.
So then from here to get the spacing that you want again, use a shift enter or
You're right.
a break.
Right.
And tell me again where the breaks were. Was it after or right here at rank
Yeah,
choice?
I didn't like the fact that I had to do that, but it was pushing the cell so far over that I had to add my breaks. So
One thing
after bis.
after this. Okay.
But I really wanted it centered. And I don't know what that little caret is. It looks like there's a extra angle bracket somehow
There we
there.
go. Yeah. It might have just been left over. Yeah, and then I'm going to swap back. Well, you said you wanted it centered?
Yeah.
Whoops. I highlighted too much. And that should center just to the cell.
But
There we go. It added that
Ah,
extra line
yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't think to go back to WYSIWYG but that makes it much better.
Yeah, and easier to make those changes. But I think you were correct to save it as full HTML, especially when you're making formatting changes to tables. It's typically, the tables are usually going to follow the MyLO rules of formatting. So they're going to ignore whatever formatting you've added. Not always, but we've seen it before. So if you've, resized your rows or columns, or you've made changes to the text in the center or in the table, just changing back to full HTML before you save could save you some headache if you're not seeing, the changes that you've made to a table. But let's see if we can see anything in the code about those lines, because I don't recognize that as far as MyLO. So after the video, we have a break. It looks normal to me. So this is our, whoops, that's our YouTube code. I don't see anything in there.
What? Oh, no, it looks all right.
And I wonder, because there was a third one. Let's see. Oh, do you have a couple of them in each? That's right.
No,
So
I go across.
I think it might have been down here. Frame border 0. I don't think I saw that in the other one. Oh no, it is there. I'm just going to quickly open the page that we're looking at in another tab so we can change back and forth.
I hope this is interesting to the others.
So, okay, it looks like the second and the third video do not have those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not noticing any difference. And then we have this one. Yeah, they both have the same frame border, width, and height.
You can notice those numbers are familiar to what you used.
And yeah,
I
no
used
wonder.
158 instead of 157, but
You typically should round up, yeah. Huh. And yeah, I don't want to get rid of anything.
I wonder if I made it 127. Maybe that was just the amount that,
Do you want me to try tweaking that?
yeah,
Let's
well,
see. 157 there. Let's see if it shows us on this side. I mean, it's worth a shot. I'm going to just do it to the ones in the top table.
okay.
And we'll leave the other ones alone. Whoops, I left it in WYSIWYG.
Oh,
They didn't show up. I definitely forget sometimes too.
well, it is kind of a pain.
Well, but that's the comfort of having the WYSIWYG. Otherwise, it would be just the HTML to work with.
Right, but to know that you have to move it. Oops, something went off.
So
Okay.
it didn't listen to the changes. Let me see. Did it stick?
Well, it took the line out.
It did take the line out. Let's see. Did it centered them, but the breaks disappeared. I wonder why.
Oh, you mean it cleaned up your code?
I guess so.
Oh,
Well, it shows up correctly
wait.
here.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can I try uploading it and seeing the difference between, embedding them versus uploading to see if it might make your work easier of adding them into the tables?
Sure.
Let's work with this one. Copy the
Although I
video
do,
URL.
my table, I have a bunch of stuff in. Well, I guess it'll still stay there.
As far as like the other stuff?
The TR and the line top and all that.
Oh yeah, that should remain. I won't touch the table itself, just I'm going to remove this. Yeah, and it should remove the embed code for it, which it might be cleaner if I just do it from the HTML side. So I'm going to get rid of the iframe. Where is the end of this iframe? There we go. Okay. I'm just going to give myself a letter.
Sure? Wait a second.
And I can refresh.
No, but I'm noticing where the iframe ends.
Oh.
You see it's at,
Sorry, I refreshed the page. Okay. So it does include the iframe title, source.
Okay, that's good.
Frame border, width, and height.
What's this iframe doing after?
This is the second one.
Oh,
okay. In the second column.
Oh, okay. I put them together. I forgot I had to put them together. Okay.
So I'll get rid of this. Just going to give myself a letter there so I can work with. Okay. Adding that letter was probably unnecessary. I just wanted to make sure that this line was getting saved. So I placed my cursor there because that's where I want to add the YouTube video. And I've already copied the YouTube URL or video URL to my clipboard. No. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just going to save it. You can always go back and add those kinds of file details. But once I submit, I want to see if by resizing it here, is that going to stick? Or let me make it just a little. It's worth testing. I won't try to make it perfect. Okay. Because I don't think I've tried that before to resize. And it did not resize as expected. I'm going to try maybe saving it as full HTML. I would love for this way to work, this method to work for you, because having to embed them all, you're staying in the HTML code at that point.
Mhm.
So let's see if by doing that, and I'm thinking it might not work. Yeah, okay, unfortunately.
It doesn't honor the size.
No. And I think it's probably just because that is not the way the cursor resizing it is probably not communicating that to the HTML that's generated.
But you can fix it now. You could
You-
go to 280 and 127.
The only thing is that it is supposedly set. So unfortunately, okay, if that is the case, to be able to tweak the height and width, it's probably going to be easier to do it with the embed code. The height here is already set to a smaller size. So I'm not sure if tweaking those numbers would make a difference.
Well, you'd want 280. Oh, no, your
It-
height. I'm sorry, it's 127.
And I think it was something small like that already.
Yeah.
And the width was 280,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
I'm going to try percentages. I'm not sure if that's going to work though. Okay. And we'll test saving as WYSIWYG if that gives us anything. No, that was the same size, I believe, as before.
How come, oh wait, you changed the one for Mary Jo to be smaller. How come?
That one was through the embed code. I did end up having to, I did
Okay,
remove the one that we uploaded.
okay. The other thing is, why can't, you had me switching to WYSIWYG and I was able to put the code. I'm trying to figure out why it didn't center. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. That
I
might be
thought
something
yeah.
that our tech team needs to check out, because I feel like it's possibly related to how we were having the issue with the button in the center not working together. So I'll have them look into
Well,
centering on tables.
This is a low priority compared to some of the other things we deal with.
Oh, for sure. I just like to make sure we have a note of everything.
Okay.
But yeah, we try to prioritize so that it's easier on the tech team, not trying to work on everything at once.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to just add back the video. Well, let's just watch it on YouTube. Does it allow me to? There we go. And let's copy the embed code ourselves. Whoops, there we go. All right, so let's get rid of what we added. And then I'll copy the numbers you have down below. The height 157 or
280.
280. And did we say that got rid of the
Yeah, the 157 did. We thought
okay.
it did.
Okay. I'm just gonna work on the code and add back the breaks that we had. And I wonder if we just use a center by itself instead of the span. And let's try it up here too. So those were 2 lines of text. We centered them both. And I'm just going to leave it as full HTML for now. Let's see what that does. Oh, yeah, we're using the embed code, so we have to. Okay, so it did give us the center tag, I think gives additional breaks. That's the only downside. It does center it, but we can tell it's a little bit lower. Unless, let's see, I remove the break tags, I think that might bring it up a little.
The text is smaller for one of them.
Yeah, and I believe that that's, if we go back to the WYSIWYG, whoops, I'm gonna stretch it down first. And sorry, let me zoom in some. There we go. So I don't know why it's not showing up anymore, but we had, you know, highlighted the text and we clicked on, even though it says format at the top, we clicked on paragraph. We definitely don't want it to look like that. And I just clicked on paragraph again. So it just, no, it didn't make it smaller, but it should have made the same change that it did to the text earlier. It might be because I'm zoomed in. Let's see. I do paragraph and then paragraph.
Could I put a div around that to make that thing below be?
Why aren't you just using div? I mean, isn't that what you want when you don't want to?
You can, and it is essentially the same thing. The only thing is that the div doesn't make a change either, unfortunately. So I just undid everything. So let's try div instead. Yeah, it didn't make a change, but I'm going to try removing those breaks in the top and see if that gives us the close together lines, at least for the first one. This second one, I'm assuming you probably want it to match the same where you want it to be centered.
Yes.
And what we could do too is center that entire section. So we have the first line as journalist Amanda Vinicki, second line 2022, and then the third line general election update. The divs, I'm changing those to center, and we're going to remove these other divs in between each line and turn them into breaks. So essentially it's the same thing that we did in the first one, but instead of centering each individual line, I'm centering the whole phrase, the whole section, and then adding a break in between. So hopefully it should give us the same look. But if not, we can always tweak it. So now we have both lines centered, and hopefully we have simple breaks, not complete, you know, paragraph breaks. Yay. Okay. So that I think looks a lot better.
I think it does too.
That's really nice.
As far as the spacing, I guess that's just the default spacing under the YouTube video.
Looks fine.
Yeah, we could copy the same thing for the ones below.
I'll do it. I spent a lot of time on this. Thanks a lot.
For sure.
So
But
what,
I do have 2 questions of Liz. If okay, first
yeah.
of all, so I don't know how hard it is to set up, you know, what we did, or one of our people did, you know, we got like a YouTube, I don't know if we have a YouTube channel, but you click YouTube and then you just post it. Wouldn't that be easier than doing what you're doing, Liz?
I thought of that, but we have like for our every year for the election, we have the candidates make videos of themselves. and
Oh.
they're all in the same channel. And I don't want to, that's kind of disruptive to
Oh,
what I'm trying to achieve here is I just want events.
oh, so you do use the YouTube thing, but you've got two different.
Got
Okay,
a lot of things
I
going
know
on
what
in
you're
the
saying,
channel.
yeah. And
Are-
the second question is, does Evanston have ranked choice voting?
Uh, I'm trying to remember if they have for their, yeah, I think they did for their mayor. I'm
Well,
not,
that's great.
I think, yeah, this guy, it's a very interesting topic. He was,
Well, yeah,
he,
I'd love it.
he ran for governor. Unfortunately, I mean, he's very charismatic.
Yeah, he looks like it, yeah.
But he has a PhD in mathematics. He was a professor of math. It's quite a different,
He'd be able to explain it then.
yeah.
Liz,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
well, this is just an aside. He thinks that if you had to run against somebody that you hope would be, you might be the second choice for, or vice versa, that it might not be as rancorous, that people wouldn't be tearing down their opponent as much because you really have some advantage of liking both of you, you know. So
Oh, no, a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
No, thank you. Have you thought, or do you have the ability to make playlists in your YouTube channel?
you know, I don't do the YouTube channel, but
Oh, okay.
I make no, but
Yeah.
maybe that would be a way. Can we
Because that's,
embed playlists?
I think so, because that's the same kind of issue that we have with our MyLO YouTube playlist. I'm on our LWVC channel and we have a whole lot going on that channel too. So I just started adding to our own playlist. As far as embedding, yeah,
Well,
it does look like.
I don't need to embed.
Oh no.
I'm thinking,
But you could just share this, yeah.
yeah. So I can just just you know, have the link go to the playlist.
Yeah,
right?
let's see if I can pull up the screen where I'm logged in. Let's see. Whoops. So when you're logged into your channel, you probably will have this over on the left-hand side, the playlist thing, and you can add a new one there. Or I believe if you are just looking directly at the video, let's see, where does it let you? When you do the details, when you click the little pencil to edit the video, let's see, there we go. Playlists is down under the thumbnail section. And you can, you know, select from what you already have, or again, create a new playlist.
And how do you link to that?
To the playlist?
Yeah.
You can go back to the playlist section and click watch on YouTube. I believe that gives you, let's double check. Oh no, wait, not watch on YouTube. You'll want to just click on the thumbnail, or you can click on edit in YouTube. Either one, it's going to give you the link up top.
Okay, that's a great idea. That would save me a lot of work. It would just automatically be added.
Yeah, yeah, and you can have your description and, you know, have all for your events.
Thank you.
For sure.
I wouldn't have to diddle around with all these.
Keep you out of the HTML code as much as possible.
Well, I don't mind the HTML code, and I was kind of surprised that you use center the way you do, because I thought that was being deprecated and they discouraged you from using it, at least years ago even.
They probably definitely do. Anything that's any HTML code, especially formatting that's being added line by line, I feel like nowadays they're just like, that's a no-no, but if it works, it works. So
Yeah, yeah.
we got to use it. Any other questions?
Well, I always have questions, but so I had 2 brochures that I took a picture of on my phone.
Mhm.
Then I uploaded it and I was going to use it for an article and it said it was too big. What makes a picture too big? I mean,
The image quality, it could be like your
oh,
phone, the pixel number of pixels is just too high. And that usually just makes the file size larger. I will say that does happen for me when I'll notice that when I take pictures with my iPhone and I try to send them over email, it typically asks you, you know, what size do you want to send it, small, medium, large, or
right,
the
right,
original
right.
size. And my original size is usually somewhere at 2 megapixels or more. So it's not impossible that it would tell you that because our limit is 2 megabytes.
Well, go back to the phone. So you do have those options. Is smaller than the one that I usually use that says regular size as it is or something?
Yeah.
So if I had used small, maybe that might have worked.
Yeah, even medium or
Oh.
large would probably work too. Typically,
You mean they're all bigger, smaller than the actual picture?
than the 2 megabytes. Yeah, they're all going to be smaller than the actual picture.
Oh,
But yeah, it will make a difference for uploading. If it's the 2 megabytes or more, definitely choose a small, medium, or large. Choose a different option or a different file size option.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll save you a lot of headache, because then if you have only the 2 megabyte pixel picture to work with, then you'll have to convert it online somewhere. Typically, it's just easier to resend it. You know,
Yeah,
you
that
could just
Jennifer was able to do it. I don't know how she did it, but she went on some program and, you know, I want to try to avoid that. But
yeah.
yeah, I did have a real quick question. What's the difference under articles between a press mention and a public statement? I know the press mention doesn't show an image, but I mean, it probably is no big deal. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know if we even have like a strict definition on them.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's more on how you feel it fits, and sometimes it just doesn't.
And then we don't have to do it now, but you know, we talked about the media library and how I had so many in there. And I wanted to get rid of them, and they said, well, you can go into it and, you know, if it says 0, you know, then you know you can get rid of it. But some that so say I've got one picture, but I've got like 5, you know, iterations of it. They all say 1 on there. So I guess if I went on to work with them, the most recent one is the one that I just have to avoid, right? I mean, I could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
All right.
Because
So,
when it comes to that tracking of the files, the only downside is that even if you've removed it, it's still going to be listed there on the tracking.
and it'll show 1.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like it was, even though it no longer is, it was on this page
At one point.
point.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed to hear. Thanks.
Yeah,
I figured that was it, but I wanted to have it verified. Thank you so much.
for sure. And this is just what Mary Jo was talking about. That also reminds me of, I know that it's still on my to-do list to reach out to all of our users to try to manage the media library, because I know that we've talked about this before. Even just having some of us go in and remove what we can would be helpful. So I have not forgotten that. I'm just trying to think of a way to develop some instructions too, I think, because just saying, hey, go out and do this, no one's going to do it without telling them, you know, this is an easy way you can do it. And
Right.
I could probably give you guys a quick little demo if you wanted to make any changes, big changes
Sure.
to your stuff, you can use the list in manage files. I'm not going to actually make any of these changes, so don't worry. But using the operations list up here, the archive, you probably want to avoid. I think that I am actually not sure, but my assumption is that it might not allow you to access the file as you do, but it would have it floating in MyLO somewhere. So you'd want to either use delete if you want to get rid of it, or change value, which allows you to make changes to any of the options within these. So oh, I forgot to click execute.
Well, now repeat what you just did. I can't tell. Are you working on the very first, that big video?
I selected 3. Let me go back.
All right.
There we go. So I'm choosing the YouTube video that we just uploaded.
Oh, and you've got it marked.
then,
you've got it checked.
Yeah, and then a couple of images as well.
Wait, are you working on my site?
I am. That's why I said, don't worry. I'm not going to save anything.
Mine. I've got plenty to get rid of on mine.
I just want to have you shaking in your boots, Liz.
I am.
So I chose those 3, and it doesn't matter that I've chosen or selected different types of files. I could choose a PDF, an image altogether, a video, whatever it is. The change value allows me to make changes like to the, well, let's see, I don't think I can change the file name, but I could change what the permissions are, where it's going to show up. So when it comes to the groups of file types, this is how you're making changes. So I have 2 images. If I make changes here, it's being applied to those 2 images. If I make changes here, it's being applied to that YouTube video. And then any changes that I make down here and here, they're just not going to get picked up because I don't have any audio files or document files. So again, I'm not going to save anything, but as soon as you click the checkbox, it brings up that original question. So we recognize this when we add in a new file. It asks us, I have permission to use this image. As soon as we just keep checking more, they keep appearing down the list. So you can make changes to anything for these. I'm just going to make a change to the, well, actually, it doesn't ask about the permissions. But yeah, so you can make changes to any of these, and it's applied per group of file type. And all you have to do is click next. I think the next page is a confirmation page. And then that's it. It would apply the changes to all of them.
But when you say all of them, you mean the ones that you chose?
Correct. The selected ones.
To work on, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But how, for me, I want to like just get rid of it. I think one of the options is just to delete, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can delete.
Okay.
Let me go to my demo one so we can actually delete some. I won't do that to you, Liz.
Of course, I probably need it. If you see my desk, you can understand why I have a lot of files.
Okay. Oh, just kidding. I'm already here. I'm in my files. Oh, okay. Wait. Did that actually change? Because it's still showing up Liz's list here. It did. Let me go through again.
Huh.
Oh, manage my files. There we go. I think it was because I stopped masquerading while on that page. Oh, before I start in, Barbara has a question of what is this group, the League of Women Voters New Media? That is coming from the National League. And it's just a group about communications and social media and anything online, where leaguers discuss, I believe. If anybody has anything more to say about it, feel free to jump in.
You can post questions. And I think somebody from National is actually involved.
Like the moderator. I think
Yeah.
it's Kayla Vicks, their communications director.
Could be, yeah.
Oh, and where is this again?
It's on Facebook, League of Women Voters New Media Facebook group.
Yeah, it has 2.1K members. It's a private group. Doesn't look like it's by US, but it doesn't look like US. It's like this other group, and I wondered what it was.
Yeah, no, it's legitimate. I subscribe to it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only thing I see is about this girl, a mighty girl, so I'm not sure what it is. I was just exploring, trying to get stuff around.
And let's see if I can pull it up just to see if it does match what you're seeing.
Okay, I just sent you the link, but I don't think it's not going.
I don't necessarily.
Oh, there it is. Got the link.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so like I think the last league update talked about, I think, some new files with telling us not to use the old league logo and stuff from a while ago, and make sure you've got the new ones on. So if people had questions about it, this would be a good place to go.
Is it useful to you? Because I think Omerous is very useful to us, but I'm not.
It's
not
definitely
sure.
it's a different source of information as well, because you'll find some information on MyLO, but really nothing. It's more about what would you say? They're asking about recommendations on services, all kinds of different things, constant contact type of things, or website type of things.
I don't read it all the time, but yeah, that would make sense. That's a social media, yeah.
Yeah, so it even just joining and not really just being kind of a passive member is probably helpful too.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
And Maurice, do you get the action alerts from the US?
I saw somebody asked about that.
I believe I do, but I'm not sure if they still may be landing in my junk box, or were there some recent ones?
Yeah, and somebody's asking you to put.
Yeah, equal rights amendment, I think.
Oh, okay.
I
did update some recently. I don't know. Let's look at those together. And that one, the ERA one, came in only over email. Do you know?
Mine came from email, I think.
Okay.
Well, what do you remember, the rest of you?
I didn't read. I wasn't. It wasn't pushed out to me. Somehow I read it, and I think I just made it an action alert myself. I think, but I don't remember getting anything from National.
Mine was an email.
But when you say email, it was like something that went to every member about contact you. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. Whoops.
So this is the official one, huh?
ERA, it was submitted January 22, 2022.
Oh, but I just got something the other day, I thought.
That's the most recent I've gotten.
Is this the same one? And this is something that we might have tweaked the creation date on. Is this the same as what was received by email? I'm trying to see if I can locate mine.
That's on our website, on our MyLO page, RSS.
Yeah, if you're subscribed to the leagues or the national leagues on MyLO.
We should have gotten something.
Yeah, it would have landed on your action alert subscribed list. So it is the same. This I do just need to tweak the submission date, but it looks like we added this. When was this? If this was Thursday, it was sometime this week that this one was added, and I believe.
Oh, you know what?
This one as well.
I do have something. Dearborn Heights subscribed action alerts. And it is, yeah, January. But, so we must have gotten something else and I just made my own action alert. But so I am getting these. Okay, good.
Awesome. Yeah, those were added this week.
Well,
and we
mine
just-
says January.
Yeah, I do have to tweak that. I don't
Oh,
know.
you mean you just got around to doing it? Is that what, I don't mean that in a pejorative way, but is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? I'm just trying to understand.
Well, we had somebody else helping
you
us
to
with
it?
this.
Okay, all right.
We had one of our interns help us out. So
I got it. Okay.
Well, that's good.
we get
But
some
how does
help
she
every
know
now
what
and
to
then.
do? How does she know which ones to do?
Just by taking a look at the let's
US?
see. Uh-huh. It's
Uh-huh.
their take action page. And we have, existing ones that if they're still listed on their take action page, we're just pushing the end date further.
That's great. That's great.
Because, if they're showing something, we're going to show something on their MyLO site too. But I'm going to
Terrific.
quickly change these. Well, I can do that later.
Well, a question for the group, where do you have your action items displayed? Do you have them on your landing page, or do you have them under a section called action alerts?
Action alerts. I have.
Under action alerts.
Okay.
I mean, there are, when you pull down the menu, that's one of the choices.
Okay.
But I don't know if there'd be a way to put it on the front page. I mean, is it just like any other article? I don't know.
Yeah, you can promote them just like any other.
Okay.
Mhm.
Even when they're not, when you're getting it from somebody else.
Yes,
Subscribing.
the action alerts and the articles, you can promote subscribed ones as well. So like, let's do that for the demo site. I'm going to promote the latest 2 action alerts that we were talking about from the National League. Zoom in a little. There we go. So let's go to my action alerts page. So I need to go to my subscribed list. Definitely, if you're not already subscribed to the league that you want to promote their articles for, subscribe to them first. And we go over to the little cog and we select to promote this item to front page.
Oh, I never noticed that. Okay.
It's not going to happen until we refresh the page. So you can just keep promoting as many as you want until you're, ready to refresh the page.
Where did you find that page?
I come over to action alerts. So that works for the action alert, the subscribed action alerts, and the subscribed articles.
But you have to set that up in the first place, right? On the front page.
You don't, you can start with these lists, the subscribed articles and the subscribed action alerts. Once you have those promoted, what you can also do, well, sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place. Another function that you have is to make things highlighted. We see that this one's already highlighted. It has this red outline around it. And we can, promote, demote, unhighlight, highlight all at once.
So, but the subscription to the US action alerts, was that a default in MyLO? It was already in there, or did we have to? Because I subscribed to the Edwardsville ones because Barb Scott puts them in for our state. They aren't cooperative. Our state league didn't want to cooperate with us and help us with that.
And try, yeah.
So, but is there a distinction between which ones are default and which one you might add later?
I guess so. I mean, everybody has the ability to remove whatever subscriptions we start you off with, but we typically do try to, we'll subscribe you to the National League's action alerts and positions. And then if your state does operate on MyLO, then we subscribe you to your state's everything. But that's typically just LWVUS action alerts and positions are the basic default that we start you off with.
Great.
Why don't some people want to do that? Like Ohio won't do the alerts either.
Well, they aren't on MyLO.
Unfortunately.
Right.
But
Oh, you
they
to-
have a different platform.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the National League is really the only league that we do this for, because we know it's beneficial to all of the leagues that are on MyLO. So we recreate them on the MyLO system so that they can be immediately shared. And then the only other league that does that is our California League, but we make sure that we get those, just the articles in, or actually I think it's both as well, the articles and the action alerts. So we're kind of doing the same thing so that we can feed all of that information to our California leagues as well. But okay, so I'm going to go over to the front page because I did make some changes. I promoted 2 action alerts, and then I came over to the articles and I made some changes there too. Oh, and ignore all this text up here. I was helping another webmaster. Okay, so they're probably somewhere in the list.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I've just been like creating my own action alert based on something that I got from them, but I'll have to remember to look to see if it's on my action page because it is, and it's so easy to just promote it, like you said.
Yeah, definitely is. And
I just forget.
You have a click away from not having to recreate it.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
So I'm checking the front page and I'm not seeing it. The first thing that comes to mind is, are the number of visible items limited on my front page? So I'm going to check that out. If I come over to manage front page items, I'll see
Which
that
I love.
Yeah. I'll see that some of them are grayed out, and that's because I set the number of visible items to 10. And I did that before. It's going to save our settings. So all I have to do is, right now I have 13. I would recommend anything above 13. You probably don't want to set it to 13 and then, you want to keep adding more. Whatever you want to do, you just know that if you're going to keep adding, you can go up to 30 and you won't be restricted at that point.
Okay.
And where did you find that?
I came over to from my front page, or anywhere that you see the Administrator League menu, because you have it on a couple other pages. It's under Manage Front Page Items. And this is strictly for what is promoted to your front page down at the bottom. Yeah, so you can set the number of visible items. You can rearrange where they're going to show up in the list. And then once you do that, and one other thing too, well, I'll mention that at the end. Once you make, changes directly to your menu, whether it's rearranging them or setting the number of visible items, you'll have to save the order. And what that does is it's remembering that custom order. And when you make things highlighted, all it's going to do is give you the outline. When you have a default menu setting, or I'm sorry, the promoted settings, highlight will not only give you the outline, but it will also float the item to the top of the list. So similar to how sticky behaves in other lists.
Wait, what did you just say?
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Because I often highlight stuff, but what I'm doing is only highlighting events on my front page.
Okay.
But they're not at the top necessarily.
Okay, so that's because we have a custom order saved right now, and that's what I have right now too. So
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and
if
so
you're saying if you click that reset to default pages.
And it's
sorry, I missed
exactly.
that.
So if I let's see, if I reset settings to default, it's probably also going to rearrange my items. I haven't done this in a while, so
'Cause you're
not
saying all the
entirely sure.
highlighted stuff will be first.
Yeah, all the highlighted stuff will be up at the top.
Okay.
And it does rearrange the items by submission date again. So
Ooh, okay.
it not only makes your highlighted items respect that priority, it also will change up your order. So use the reset settings to default sparingly, I would recommend.
I never use it.
Yeah, if you're happy with how your order is working, you probably aren't going to use that unless you're ready to just kind of like start fresh. So any questions on that, on the reset settings to default? Okay, so and then one other thing, the remove orphan items is that last button there. If you, and we're, all of us here are probably familiar with it, but if you ever have an item show up on your list, when you're looking at it from the manage front page items, it'll show up as, you know, a grabby handle, but instead of having a title, it just has an open parentheses and a close parentheses. And
well, it says something about public input, or there's something.
Yeah,
there.
when you're looking at the front page, the way that it looks to you and the public, it has it has the title bar, which is empty, but it's the gray bar shows up. And then underneath, it's like the submitted by general user or something. And then it has the read more link. And in between the submitted by line and the read more line, it's kind of red, like background. The background is reddish, like light red. It's been, you know, a roller coaster to try to describe those and identify those sometimes.
I had one about 2 weeks ago, and it's the first time one I'd had in ages.
Okay. And that's why we added the simple button, because so it happens because we've, you know, added more power to the abilities you can do with the front page promoted items. Whenever content gets deleted or rearranged, or like as far as rearranging, maybe unpublishing it or renaming or putting it somewhere else, it can cause this, or a subscription was dropped, something. We're just unable to find a direct solution that would not involve taking the permissions away, and we don't want to do that. So the best and easiest solution was to add the remove orphan items button.
Yeah,
that's a nice clean solution for us.
Yeah, and the good thing too is that you click that and it doesn't affect your order. It leaves everything as it was, just removes that ugly little thing. So I just wanted to show off, because I do have a default settings for my promoted items. I just wanted to show off how by highlighting items, it will not only give us that red outline, but it's going to push it to the top of the list. So end discrimination at the polls should now be at the top after I refresh my page. There we go. And we have the outline. But let's say I just want to show 3 items. Let's manage that. Oops, wrong one. Manage front page items. And you can do all the things at once. I also want to actually rearrange them and just show the top 3. And so going back to my front page, now we really do see that the highlight is just obeying the red outline, or for the purple and gold, it's the gold outline, but it's no longer going to force float the item. So let's show it off with the donate to. So I highlighted that. It's outlined, but not moving up because it's a custom order right now. And just to wrap it up, I might as well show off resetting that to default. Since we have 2 highlighted items, when I click reset settings to default, not only do the highlighted items float to the top,
Hmm.
but our set number of visible items is set to the max of the number of items I have right now. And then, so then that kind of resets the highlight function as well. So now we're seeing it work to its full potential. Oops, there we go. Any questions about the promoted front page functions?
Oh, it
Oh,
works
I have
very easy.
a question in general.
Mhm.
We have a discussion kind of in our league about the use of the word advocacy versus action. So when is that, I thought I had read a while back that the league was transitioning to the use of the word advocacy for, you know, that type of work, because and that action could be used by either the voter service group or the action kind of group. But does anybody is anybody going to use the word advocacy? Because in building the website, I use that word everywhere, and our league keeps just referring to action, doesn't even use the word advocacy ever. So what are you guys doing?
We have advocacy as a menu item, and action items is one of the things under advocacy.
Okay, because that's the way I set it up, but our league really prefers to use the word action for everything, in that kind of area where you're going to testify, where you're doing the observing things and that kind of thing.
We stress advocacy.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, our voter service person, she's very adamant about using or differentiating between voter education and voter advocacy, because, we've got two different nonprofits. And so when I think of advocacy, I think of lobbying. Somebody said another one that I didn't really think was advocacy. Observing. I guess that's really not voter education. I guess that'd be under advocacy, but it's not what I typically think of. But at least in our league, we definitely use advocacy for action. It's not voter education, but it's because we have the two arms of the league.
Right. Because I think
saying.
if you use, the way I was seeing it is, if you use the word action for the advocacy, then it implies kind of that the voter side doesn't really do any action, and that's not. Okay. Well, that's the way I've set up the website. Is advocacy is the going to testify, the observer corps, and all that kind of stuff. And then voter service is voter service, and both groups do action.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have our positions under advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I put our positions too.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a nice way to think of it. Just making it action, not, as league terms as we've thought it, just the act of doing something.
Yeah, our voter service chair was very strong about, both sides do action. One side does advocacy, the other side does voter service.
Yeah, definitely understand that.
What's the league version of that? So
I just feel like it's always been tied to advocacy, so it could be synonymous as far as action or advocacy. We've used them interchangeably, but I understand that way of defining it as it's just the fact that we're acting, that we're doing something. Voter service does that too, so
yeah,
I get it.
we have a couple of new members who cannot get straight the terms, like program and policies and action and advocacy. It just a big jumble to them all.
Well, programs especially, that's been used so many different, not in a single way.
Yeah, the league has a lot of jargon.
Yes.
And there is a lot on their website, especially about program planning, but has anyone ever come across, and I think it was some league on the East Coast, and I don't even know if they're still doing them, but they would do these vignettes or podcasts. What would Alice do? Something like that.
Oh, yes. I think
Alice Paul. So number 7 has a thing about all the different league terms. So when I get a new member, I have this thing I sent out, and part of it is, you may wish to go to this fun link and here, learn more about the league, and it is fun.
Well, thank you.
And to back when Lou was a thing, I remember seeing a league lingo PDF on there, and now I just quickly Googled League of Women Voters league lingo, and there's a few leagues that popped up. I'm just gonna drop in the first one I came across. Rhode Island has one, but yeah, that's real fun just to see that we really do have a lot of lingo that we use.
I'm not finding the link for what would Alice do.
Let me see if I can bring it up.
I will.
I'm just getting Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, well, Alice Paul, maybe Alice Paul.
Oh, right, Alice Paul.
Was it in Virginia?
Well, I know it's the East Coast. It was 2 women.
Let's see.
That was it. Yeah.
Awesome.
National Women's History Museum, Alice Paul.
Well, that's
No,
different.
that's
That's
not it.
different. Yeah. I'll make a
Let's
note.
see,
To make
I
sure
did-
bring it to the next one.
And I'm dropping something in here. Why don't you check that out?
I think I found it. We'll try this.
Sussex County.
I found something from
Oh.
Sussex County. Oh, but Barbara, that one looks good too.
Oh,
It's
it's
probably their direct
Yeah,
website.
that's it. This is
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then number 7, like I said, what are the date? Yeah,
Let's
see, they haven't been updating them. But if you go down to number 7,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, League Lingo Explained.
Where's number 7? Oh, they're going down in order. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is from Barbara.
so fun.
Oh,
It
that's
looks
cool.
like, yeah, the one from Barbara, alicepaulpodcast.com.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to share that with people. Thank you.
I am too.
And I wonder does it say which league? Oh, okay. I guess it just says created. I'm looking at this article from the Sussex County. And it say created by volunteers with the LWV who share stories. So maybe it's not just one specific league.
Could
They're
be.
just having all kinds of league members come through. That is awesome.
Oh, so that would be possible for any of our leagues to kind of contribute to that. Like we could make a number 14 or
I wonder. Yeah.
actually probably with their permission.
Right. Yeah. I would think that you could probably get to collaborate with them.
We
Get ready to
have
take local action. These are really good.
we have a link to the glossary for members too. A glossary. I think it's from National.
Oh,
Let me see
see.
where.
yeah. Anything from National that we can promote is awesome. Okay. I do remember it was Amy Hursted that had brought this up, and she was originally, it was either the Arlington League or the Eastern Upper Peninsula League that I remember her starting it off with.
Oh,
Melissa Currents. She's a director at the National League. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like these are the 2 women that are running.
or were. I mean,
The
the latest one is 2019.
yeah, it looks like they have led the discussions on building. Oh, I'm not sure. This has more to do with our membership. I wonder.
Yeah.
I would assume that they're connected with the podcast in some way if they're listed here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I wonder, they don't really have a, oh, here we go. Maybe, no, this is probably going to lead to our join page on National. Yeah. I might have a contact for Amy. And we might even have a contact for Melissa too. If anybody really, oh, just kidding. Here we go. This is the way. But I mean, if you aren't hearing anything, we could also try to dig up what contacts we have for these folks. But yeah, get connected. I think that would be great if they could work with more leagues across the nation. They'll probably be excited about that too. Awesome. And
There's
also,
so many different things in the league. I mean, it's just so hard to find stuff. I mean, there's so many resources.
yeah, it
that just-
definitely makes it hard to sprawl when they do sprawl like all over the internet.
Yeah.
You
I wish
could
that they
even
would push
promote this
that.
one. Yeah. It would be nice if there was more of a central hub for all of our resources.
Yeah.
I think their website is pretty yucky, and I thought they changed it. I mean, they're saying, oh, we have our new website, but it's still not easy to find stuff. And they say, oh, go to league management, and you type in things that and nothing, and then you go Google,
And it
and
comes
maybe
up
you
for
can find
you.
it. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
With
but
all
that's
the
very,
people that work at that office.
yeah, but that's very typical. The
But it
easiest
shouldn't be that
path to
way.
get to the information you want is Google rather than going to the site and trying to find it there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, because Google is definitely more reliable on having a cache, a good library that they're looking at. But yeah, the other way around, we're relying on whatever service the site is being brought up on, and we don't know how often they're caching things or if they
Or what
are.
kind of metadata they're adding. I mean, it's just,
Yeah. So
I wish they would think of us, there's so many of us, and why should we recreate the wheel? That's what I don't get. Make those, graphics so that we can use them.
yeah, or even or just
Right.
have a place that they'll drop into. Like, yeah, there isn't a one central location that we all turn to when things happen in the league.
They always say use that Flickr, but I don't want those. I don't want to see somebody in Arizona on their voter registration day. I want to see the nice ones that they've got for national that anybody can use. And, I've seen some nice ones, but they're hard to find.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Well, at least we have MyLO.
Yeah, no, MyLO is amazing.
Yeah, we try to make things easier to push out what we can. And I think we'll also maybe try and whenever we get interns in the California office, we're always trying to get whatever we can, squeeze whatever good stuff, new stuff we can. So maybe we can get some graphics in there too, even if they're just like generic ones, like time for action or action alert ones.
Well, you know what, what you just said, because I think I shared with you that I had gotten something telling me that I should be using, something, and I got scared, of course. But yeah, it would be wonderful. And that's something that National should do. Have a nice package of frequently used things. Like we said, advocacy. I've got a little advocacy thing that I think is okay to use, but that they know is okay.
Yeah.
Copyright,
That's
or maybe
vetted.
they themselves have done it, because we're all doing the same thing. We have town halls, we have program planning meetings. I mean, I don't know. It just seems such a natural idea. Or
Oh, I agree.
Time.
I'm surprised at how much time that the National League puts into creating these amazing resources and then somehow forgets to send them to the people who would be most interested. So, or puts everything.
I spend a lot of time explaining things, like, just what Lynette was asking about advocacy versus action. I mean, those kinds of things are so hard to explain.
Yeah, and it actually stirs quite a debate in our little league.
Ours too, yes.
National does have a lot of webinars, and I know I've been on at least 2 where they actually put us in rooms. And I don't remember if we had to talk about a certain thing, but inevitably things get, how do you do this or how do you do that?
Mhm.
And so I think that's really good. And I think they call them community things. That, I hope everybody reads that league updates, because that just has so much information in it, you know, about all the different things that are coming up. Now,
Okay.
what is-
League
I just put in a
Yeah.
definition of action that I think came from the National League. It was in the glossary. It doesn't include voting.
Oh,
Ugh,
that's right.
rats.
Well, where is this glossary? It's
Oh.
somewhere on the main page on the.
Well, it's
So
on
this is-
Squarespace. So I think that if
I
it's
think
in
it's
Squarespace,
here.
it's national, right? Or maybe it's,
It looks
maybe-
like under league management and then
Okay,
leadership
league-
development.
league-
oh, that's
Okay.
But
is that
I'll
the
drop the
same?
link to. Is this not the same?
I think mine's different. Let me look at mine.
Okay, I'm gonna
Mine
drop
might be
this
from
link.
the state. That might be from the state.
Ah,
Let
Well,
me find it.
I originally found it through Rhode Island's league site, and it looks like they probably just copied it directly, but I had a link there to the original one.
I'll put mine in the chat. Let
Okay,
me
yeah,
see.
Yeah.
leadership, man, okay.
So how can I tell when something is in Squarespace?
Oh, okay, this is just the PDF version
Of
of
the
what
same
we're
thing?
seeing. Uh-huh.
Good.
I believe so. It looks like it does have all the same information.
Okay, I've heard of Squarespace, but what are you
Actually,
saying?
I think our state league uses Squarespace for part of the implementation of the website, or maybe that's the whole platform.
maybe it's where they store their
Images and things.
mhm. But it looks like, okay, so the difference between these two, the PDF has additional glossary items based on your state league, the Illinois League. And then this page here, the lwv.org, their league management page, this is just coming from National League.
I
So
have
that
to
would
look
mean
at the
that
difference.
action, it does not include voter service.
Right.
Ugh.
That's
So apparently our voter service, one half of the arm doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, it's just service, not action, I guess. But Liz, I noticed just the TFA, time for action, was one that wasn't listed on the National Leagues.
oh, so my state one is more comprehensive.
There's there's at least that one, and then who knows if there's a few more. That might be the only one. The other one, or honorary life member, do we have that as well? Yeah.
So do people have this on your local website under somewhere?
Yeah, I have it for under members. It's a.
Oh, I haven't done that yet, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
no, I don't have a member site. It's
Oh.
just I have in my menu, I have things for members, like our
Oh,
documents.
but that are open to everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's no secret to the having.
yeah.
This is
oh.
just, I put it with members because it's sort of particular to
Yeah,
our.
no, yeah, oh.
okay. Yeah, I think this would be useful to have on the website.
Yeah. I wonder how easy it is to find it.
Well, that's an interesting thing because when I went to my search on my site, I didn't find it because it's on a different site.
Ah, I see.
And the
So
only way you get to it is through the member.
Oh, there it is. Is that it?
it did luckily come up.
Yeah.
But I wonder, but Liz, you're referring to your state league site, so that's a whole nother ball game, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you wanted to link to the online version, you can find it there, or just copy the link that we dropped in the chat. If you are a league in Illinois and you want to show this one off, then use that link that Liz dropped. The only reason I say is that it's specific to Illinois is because they do mention LWVIL. When it could just say request from the league or something to take action. I don't know why it's specific there, but those are both available to be linked to.
Huh.
See you in 2 weeks. I gotta go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sounds good. Bye-bye. Yeah, so I think we'll probably end it there as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely. So April 8th, we'll see y'all, and if I can come up with something, I'll let everybody know, but I'll post the reminder.
Well,
Great,
maybe
thanks.
more on the how to clear up our media. I mean, you did
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit, but
Yeah, we can
That
spend
would
some
be
more
great.
time on that, and that'll be perfect timing for me to announce it too. Maybe I'll
the
announce it
library.
before the office hours, and then hopefully that'll drum up some more folks to join us.
oh, good idea.
That would be great. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, then I
All
think we
right,
have
bye,
it figured
ladies.
out.